215. And if children and young people use amongst you make themselves guilty of a bloody deed murder, then they shall be taken for punishment and to a place of fulfillment of guidelines, secluded region or island, in the same way as for those who have grown up adults, thus a lifetime or other appropriate period in the place of fulfillment of guidelines, punishment by separation from society for a certain time, determined according to the severity of the bloody deed, murderous deed, also applies for them. 216. Do not think that those who are slain or otherwise killed, murdered, for the truth or truthfulness will enter into the presence of a paradise of a God or ten gods, because no one receives this who enters into the life of death, life, because truly, with dying, a person of your kind, human being, ceases to exist, because death brings dissolution to the effectiveness energy, and out of this a new person of your kind, human being / personality, with a new inner world consciousness, is created, and it is taught that the spirit body, spirit form, of people of your kind, human beings, is a tiny minute thing, of effectiveness energy, of creation, and is not bound to death, so that this is existing in the realm of the invisible other world, and manifests itself in renewal, rebirth, once again in a new person of your kind, human being. 217. If you follow the laws and recommendations of the truth of creation, then you are granting yourselves delight and grace, kind-heartedness, therefore you are full of joy when you follow the truth, and truly you will have neither fear nor sorrow which you are not capable of mastering. 218. And truly you will be full of joy about the truth if you lead your existence in it, and therefore the reward for this will not be lost to you. 219. Those amongst you who follow the call and the teaching of the prophets after having lived in dark unknownness and received evil wounds to your inner world consciousness, and in your thoughts and feelings as well as in your psyche, you will reap a great reward if you do good and act rightfully. 220. It is probable that unknowing ones and unfair ones, irresponsible ones, as well as non-righteous ones, conscienceless ones, have gathered around you, but do not be afraid of them. Rather let their bad deeds strengthen you and give fullness, sufficiency, to the teaching of truth, so that the truth itself will be a comprehensive protection for you. 221. Return to the teaching of truth and to the laws and recommendations of creation in kind-heartedness and understanding, so that no disastrous things will strike you and you will find pleasure in true life, because you are yourselves those who show respect, favor and mildness to yourselves. 222. Do not be afraid of evil and its friends who wish to frighten you with misdeeds. Only be afraid of committing misdeeds and inequity, unfairness, and non-righteousness, consciencelessness, yourselves when you are knowing in the truth. 223. Do not allow yourselves to be afflicted by those who quickly fall prey to evil and non-rights, because indeed they cannot harm the truth and yourselves in any way if you remain steadfast. Always be willing to give them a share of your knowledge so that they may not continue in unknowing and in their cursedness, and therefore do not have to persist in their inequity and unfairness. 224. It is certain that those who have bartered unknownness and delusional teachings for the truth in order to gain a belief in a god or ten gods, that they cannot harm you or the truth in any way if you are steadfast in the knowledge of the teaching of truth, the teaching of spirit, the teaching of life, and in the laws and recommendations of the origination creation. 225. And those who are knowing in the truth and the unfair ones, irresponsible ones, shall not assume that it will be to their boon that they deny or slander, calumniate the truth, because indeed it will only lead to all disastrous things growing within them, and they are debasing themselves. 226. Do not think that you can leave yourselves in the position of being unknowing in the truth, where you are living, because you must separate yourselves from what is bad and turn yourselves to goodness. Therefore you must be concerned about learning so that what is hidden in the truth may be disclosed to you. Therefore choose the teaching of the prophets, because if you make their knowledge and wisdom your own, you will be upright and fair as well as virtuous, for which you will receive a great reward in yourselves, in your inner world consciousness, and in the thoughts, in your feelings, and in your psyche. 227. And those amongst you who are greedy with that which has been given to you by the fruitfulness creation, in its goodness, you shall not assume that your greed will be for your boon and for your own good, because truly you will be disdained by people of your kind, human beings, as they become aware of your actions, since you have hung avarice around you like a necklace which is visible both near and far for people of your kind, human beings. 228. Your thoughts and speaking are stupid and delusional if you think and say that the truth of fruitfulness creation is poor, but you however are rich in your knowing of the truth, and you have even had it written down by people who can write with falsification, by changing the teaching of the true prophets against the right, and since then slanderously defamingly, teaching that punishment and revenge as well as retribution and battle war shall be practiced against those who are of another belief and another people from you, and therefore you have slanderously defamingly set down in your writings that also children take up arms in order to go into battle war, and kill for your false beliefs and for all conflicts, enmities/disputes, but by no means is this rightful, and therefore it is against the laws and recommendations of fruitfulness creation and life. And your slanders, calumnies, as you have instructed people who can write to set them down incorrectly, also teach, against all right and against all equitableness, fairness, and against the laws and recommendations of the primal wellspring of wisdom creation, that every man and every woman shall be of death if there is a break in the bond between man and woman, and equally everyone shall be of death who kills, murders, or commits other misdeeds. But these lies and slanders, calumnies, are against the truth and the laws and recommendations of the wellspring of wisdom creation, and they are murderous, criminal claims which are far from the truth and are fabulated, fraudulent falsifications that are invented by people of your kind, human beings, with delusional thoughts and desires, vices/wantonness/addictions/urges, enjoy or vengefulness in order to torment, punish and kill others. 229. For the sake of what your thoughts create and the evil doings that are eyes therefrom, you flee from the truth and set on right against right, so that you may lead an existence in evil that is far from the truth in face of life. 230. Many amongst you are believers in gods and tin gods, just like the priests and servants of gods and servants of tin gods, who together with you and knowing ones and unfair ones, irresponsible ones, call not to listen to and heed the words or the teaching of the true prophets before they might bear witness that those would be destroyed in the fire of punishment who do not turn to the teaching of truth. But truly prophets have come who brought clear signs, evidence, and bore witness that ill-gotten goods never prosper and therefore do not bring forth good fruits but only rotten ones. You, however, only slandered, calumniated them and tried to kill them because you are not truthful in the knowledge of the truth. 231. However, those amongst you who are accused, blamed, by the unknowing ones and unfair ones, irresponsible ones, and by the non-righteous ones, conscienceless ones, of lying, remember the true prophets who are accused, blamed, of lying before your time and in your time, and remember the true prophets in your time who are also accused, blamed, of lying also by you and your priests and servants of gods and servants of tin gods, despite showing, revealing the way up to the guideline principle/leading thought of true life with clear signs, evidence, and the teaching of truth, the teaching of spirit, the teaching of life, the teaching of wisdom, and with their open and honest words, and you and your priests and servants of gods, your servants of tin gods and swaggerers, your night pickers, know-it-alls, and word splitters, none of you want to perceive what is the truth, because for you who are deniers of the truth, something that is against your belief and against your reflections and strivings is not allowed to be truth.